A single suitcase bomb threatens to rewrite global history. Beat. Unless a handful of unlikely heroes can outpace catastrophe. 1. A fragile peace and seeds of doom. We open in the early 1990s, a moment when Cold War shadows still linger, yet hope glimmers. Beat. President Jack Ryan, new to the Oval Office, pursues a daring Middle East peace plan, coaxing Israel and its neighbors toward coexistence. His administration's optimism feels almost fragile glass, beautiful yet breakable. Meanwhile, far from diplomatic halls, a forgotten Syrian construction site yields the unthinkable: a lost Israeli nuclear device from the Six-Day War. Beat. Enter the Phoenix terror cell, convinced that a single dramatic act will ignite apocalyptic conflict and remake the world order. Their leader sees the bomb as both holy instrument and political lever. As Ryan juggles senators, generals, and skeptical allies, Tom Clancy layers technical detail with human tension. We watch CIA analyst John Clark trace radio chatter, Mossad officers chase whispers, and ordinary lab techs test weapons parts that should not exist. The motif of miscalculation emerges, peace balanced atop misinformation, arrogance, and emphasis, secrecy. Clancy's meticulous descriptions of nuclear physics and diplomatic nuance amplify dread. Beat. A bolt here, a trigger there. Each technical term is a drumbeat counting down. The author reminds us that in a globally connected world, the path from distant battlefield relic to urban catastrophe can be terrifyingly direct. Emphasis, hubris, national, ideological, personal, propels every misstep. 2. The terror plot takes shape. Smuggling begins like a dark travelogue. The core shipped inside a crate of medical supplies, detonator components hidden among car parts, forgeries stamped with authentic seals. Beat. Clancy's trademark hyperrealism slows time, letting listeners feel each customs inspection, each bribe, each bead of sweat. Parallel storylines converge. A disillusioned physicist, tempted by money, calibrates the bomb's initiator. A German radical courier loses faith, yet keeps moving. Fear, we learn, is not always enough to spark defection. Intelligence communities, distracted by political turf wars, misinterpret data. Beat. Ryan himself is preoccupied with Senate hearings, his moral compass tested by partisan sniping. This section spotlights institutional blindness. Satellites capture heat signatures, but analysts mislabel them. Diplomats dismiss field reports that clash with policy goals. Beat. We feel the tension between signal and noise, the tragedy of ignored truth. The pacing quickens, sentences shorten. Clancy's prose becomes a metronome of ticking time. Emerging in stark relief is the idea that terrorism thrives in the fault lines of bureaucracy. The cell's audacity is astonishing, yet the real enabler is systemic complacency. Beat. The phrase, "sum of all fears," becomes literal. Each missed clue, each departmental rivalry, adds to the calculus of doom. 3. Detonation in Denver Super Bowl. Sunday, Mile High Stadium, 74,000 fans. Beat. The Phoenix cell chooses spectacle. They park a nondescript van, arm the device, and vanish into the roar of crowds. Clancy's slow-motion description of the nuclear blast, first blinding flash, then the rising mushroom cloud, feels cinematic and intimate at once. Concrete liquefies, cheers turn to stunned silence. The shockwave ripples across the Rockies. Instantly, the geopolitical chessboard flips. Markets freefall, militaries go to DEFCON 2, and public fear morphs into hysteria. Ryan rushes from a fractured command bunker to a smoking situation room. Information is scarce. Assumptions abound. Was it the Soviets? The Iranians? Who pulled the trigger matters less than... Who is blamed? Beat. Here, Clancy explores the psychology of escalation. Russian hardliners exploit the chaos, positioning armor near the German border. US strategic forces ready counterstrikes. One misread radar ping could ignite world war. Beat. Ryan's expertise in Soviet doctrine and his gut instinct that Moscow was not behind the blast become the fragile thread preventing nuclear holocaust. In this maelstrom, individual courage surfaces. A lone Israeli intelligence officer confesses an old cover-up, providing data that narrows suspect lists. A Soviet submarine captain defies secret orders, signaling détente rather than attack. Their choices illustrate Clancy's faith in conscience over command, humanity over doctrine. Yet the planet teeters. Every intercontinental missile is armed, beat, every hotline ablaze. The Denver crater smolders as a monstrous punctuation mark to humankind's capacity for self-destruction. 4. Narrowing the abyss. With World War minutes away, Ryan races to Camp David to confront Russian Premier Narmonov by secure video. Beat. He presents evidence gathered from radiation signatures, shipping manifests, even stadium security footage, building an argument that neither superpower was involved. Trust, however, is a currency nearly spent. One wrong syllable could dissolve talks and unleash arsenals. Throughout this climax, Clancy intercuts cockpit scenes of B-52 crews awaiting launch codes, submarine commanders tracking sonar ghosts, and families huddled near battery-powered radios. The novelist's intricate technical knowledge provides texture. Fail-safe protocols, permissive action links, the coded brevity of nuclear command. Yet beneath circuitry and code lies a meditation on responsibility. Ryan's greatest weapon is not force, but persuasion. He leans on shared fatherhood with Narmonov, on the mutual nightmare of Armageddon. Beat. When the Russian leader hesitates, Ryan gambles, ordering US bombers to stand down first, an act of terrifying vulnerability that rehumanizes the standoff. The gesture works. Missiles are held. Diplomats breathe. The abyss narrows, then closes. In the aftermath, blame shifts from nations to extremists. Joint US-Russian-Israeli teams hunt the Phoenix remnants. Survivors of Denver begin the slow crawl toward recovery. Ryan, exhausted, contemplates the knife edge of history. How civilization can pivot on vanishingly small decisions. A midnight call, a withheld order, a moment of emphasis. Courage. Beat. Clancy leaves us not with triumph, but sober vigilance. Peace is an active verb, a choice renewed each day.